He's made the NHS the focus of his campaign, but does the Miliband project need some emergency care? Yesterday he forgot an entire section of his speech dealing with the budget deficit. So I asked him, does that mean it's not a priority for him?
I was clear in my speech that, for example, our proposals on the NHS wouldn't be funded by higher borrowing. I take very seriously the need to get the deficit down. It's part of the occupational hazard of the way I give these speeches.
Were you showing off a little bit? Because David Cameron famously gave a speech without notice. Do you feel you have to match
I've done it 3 years in a row. It's the way I feel like I can speak directly to people. But nobody should be in any doubt about our determination to get the deficit down.
But on the NHS, for instance, your £2.5 billion fund, there's going to be a £30 billion deficit by 2020. Everybody agrees on that. Clearly, your fund isn't enough. You're going to have to find more money to match the problems of the NHS.
Well, there are large spending pressures on the NHS, but I think our fund will make a big difference. Of course, you also got to make efficiencies, and that's part of our plan to make those efficiencies. And I'm not pretending...
But does it go beyond efficiencies? Do you not have to find more money from somewhere to plug that gap in the NHS deficit?
We'll always make the NHS a priority, but we've laid out our proposals on the NHS in the speech yesterday. I think they're good proposals, and I think they'll make a real difference.
Justine wants to play a fuller role in the campaign, or she said that she's ready for the campaign. What was going on yesterday? She didn't want to give you a kiss. What was that all about?
I don't think that was the case. It was always, we always have this thing with the photographers that they're always desperate for us to do multiple kisses, and she,
Is she going to play a bigger role in the campaign in the future?
She's got her own job, which is as a lawyer. She's also, helps look after our kids. That's really important. She's also got a job, helping support me, but it's in that order.
People still don't see you as a Prime Minister. What can you do about that? You're running out of time.
Well, I don't see it that way. I've been consistent over the last 4 years about what I believe and what I stand for. And in the end, the people will be the judge in 9 months' time. But what we've laid out this week is a plan for our future, a plan for a higher minimum wage, to fund the health service properly, and to build a future for everyday working people in this country.
And soon the voters will judge his plan and him.
So, Andy, all in all, a pretty mixed reaction to Ed Miliband's performance, and today he was upstaged by another member of the party.
Yes, but I don't think Ed Miliband will mind, because that speech actually reinforced the central message that only Labour can save the NHS, which is the message that Ed Miliband was trying to get over yesterday. There were tears in the eyes of people in the conference hall today when 91-year-old Harry Smith delivered his speech. There were tears in the eyes of the Shadow Health Secretary, Andy Burnham, and Harry Smith was talking about his days growing up in Barnsley in the 20s and 30s before the NHS was introduced. Here's a flavour of what he had to say.
I am not a politician, a member of the elite, or a financial guru, but my life is your history, and we should keep it that way. So say it loud and say it clear in this hall and across this country. Mr. Cameron, keep your mitts off my NHS.
Now, certainly a good reception from him. And also this afternoon, the Shadow Cabinet meeting to talk about Syria, Andy.
Yes, Ed Miliband told me today that he was open to the idea of RAF strikes in the region. He said as long as they were going to be effective, legal and legitimate. So I do think Labour are moving towards a position of supporting the government on a vote in the House of Commons on Friday. They're not quite there yet. They are worried about the issue of legality of bombing inside Syria, for instance. But I think we're clearly in a different place to where we were this time a year ago when Labour opposed the government over bombing to damage the Assad regime in Syria.
OK, Andy, thanks very much.